Subject-verb agreement. When you're writing, your subject and verb need to agree so that your sentences make good grammatical sense. A singular subject must have a singular verb, and a plural subject must have a plural verb. So let's look at some examples. My mother and I likes to walk after dinner. So let's find our subject in that sentence. Who's doing the action? Well, in this sentence, mother and I are both doing the action. So since it's two people, this is a plural subject, and we'll just put P for that. Now, since it's a plural subject, we need to have a plural verb. And likes is actually a singular verb, which we will just put S for from now on. So this doesn't work. We need to fix it. We need a plural verb to go with my mother and I in this sentence. So what would make sense? My mother and I like to take walks after dinner. If we just take that S off, now we have a plural verb. We've changed it from singular to plural. And I'll go ahead and give you this tip before we do the rest of our examples. If your subject is singular, your verb will often end in S. So remember, singular, S. If you have a singular subject, then you probably are going to have a verb that ends in S. We had likes, which ended in S, and it was a singular verb. It didn't go with a plural subject, but it would have gone with a singular subject. So if you have a plural subject, then your verb is likely not going to end in S. So by taking that S off, we turned it into a plural verb. A lot of times whenever you read the sentence to yourself, it will just sound bad if you have the wrong form of the verb. But sometimes you have to pay more attention to it. So let's look at some examples. First, we're going to decide if these subjects are singular or plural by writing P or S for singular underneath them. And then we're going to choose the correct form of the verb that I've already chosen. And these are all sentences, they're just really short sentences. Okay, dogs. Dogs is plural, so we're going to put a P. That means we need a plural verb. So, using this rule, our verb is probably not going to end in an S. So we can just say run. The form that's here is already the form that would probably work. And then let's read it and make sure it makes sense. Dogs run. That does make sense. Now you might want to have a longer sentence in your writing. The dogs run quickly down the street after a squirrel. But dogs run is a sentence and it shows just the subject and verb agreement. Okay, now we have dog. Dog is singular. So using our rule, our verb should end in S. So let's put in runs. Dog runs. That makes sense. You could add more to it and say the dog runs down the street. But dog runs will work. Women is singular. Plural, sorry. Women is plural. If we had woman, it would be singular. Women is the plural form. And this one's a little different because it doesn't end in S to let you know right away that it's plural. You have to just know this is the plural form of the word. But since it's plural, we can just put our verb without adding an S and then read it and make sure it makes sense. Women talk. That makes sense. You could say women talk to each other about all sorts of topics. But women talk, it works. Subject and verb agree. Plural subject, plural verb. A frog. Frog is singular, so we need a singular subject. So we're going to put jump with an S, jumps. A frog jumps. That works. Singular subject, singular verb. The book. Book is singular. There's just one book. So we want to add S to our verb in parentheses, making it opens. The book opens. That makes sense. Singular subject, singular verb. Two geese. Geese is plural, and having that adjective two ahead of it lets you know right away it's going to be more than one, so it will be plural. So we can just leave the verb in the form it's in. It does not need an S. 2 geese honk. Plural subject, plural verb. Wolves. Wolves is plural. So we don't need the S at the end, and we'll just fill in howl. Wolves howl. That is correct. Plural subject, plural verb. You could add more to it and say wolves howl at the moon, but this is a sentence all by itself, and it's showing you how the subject and verb agree. The black wolf. This one has some more adjectives with it, but it is singular. There's just one wolf. So we need to add an S. The wolf howls. That makes sense. Singular subject, singular verb. Wasps. Wasps is plural, so we do not add an S to our verb. Wasps sting. Plural subject, plural verb. So whenever you're checking subject-verb agreement, make sure that you have a singular subject and a singular verb, or a plural subject and a plural verb. If you have a plural subject with a singular verb, like we had to begin with, you need to correct it, or vice versa. If you had a singular subject with a plural verb, you would need to correct it and make sure they agree. And one strong tip for you to make sure that you're choosing the correct verb form is if you have a singular subject, singular, think of that S, then you want to add an S to the end of your verb to make it the correct singular form. Or if you have a plural verb, you want to leave the S off so that it isn't a singular verb.
If you need a study guide, click the book at the bottom of the page. If you want more free test videos, subscribe to us on YouTube. If you just want to keep watching, click the next video.